first porno movie was right as VCRs came out. Because, you know, back in the day, you used to have like that reel-to-reel thing. And this dude put it in. There was literally like me and 4 other guys.
What?
We were getting ready to booze. Yeah, that's what, you know.
Was that at the Sausage Fest?
No.
I think I missed that.
No, we were like 16. You still lived at home with your parents. It's like not like anybody had any. So they went out, and somehow this dude had a porno. And yeah, it had a real creepy moment in there with the male star. He worked at some sort of sandwich shop, and the lady who ordered a chicken sandwich was being a dick to him.
Oh.
So for some reason, he went in the back. She asked for mayonnaise, and rather than just jerking off onto the sandwich, he literally fucked a rotisserie chicken.
So he actually had sex with the...
It wasn't a live chicken. It wasn't bestiality. I'm not a creep here, Dave.
No, I
All right,
get it.
it was a dead cooked chicken.
Everyone's got a
head,
kink. I get it.
Without a head or feet, and he banged it and then jizzed on her sandwich.
As if collectively you were all just like, well, what does it look like? I'm not gonna lie to you. It still looks like a dead body, but it looks way fucking better than that blow-up doll from 30 years ago. And that's what scares me, because everything gets better, right? You look at when cars first came out, the stupid horn, you had to crank start it, you'd run over your best friend. Now you can start one up with a remote control from like 50 yards away, right? Remember when airbags first came out? They just had one for the driver. My family! Oh my God! Oh my God! Why would you just save me? And then eventually, they got airbags for everybody. Well, these robot sex dolls are gonna be no different. Okay, they're just gonna keep getting better and better and better. And these fucking nerds are not gonna be making any regular looking robot dolls, right? You know, some girl next door, you know, just some plain Jane, the chick your mom likes, being like, well, there's a nice girl you can settle down with, she knows how to cook. Fuck that. They're gonna make Victoria's Secret supermodels, just absolute, like Paris runway looking supermodels. And you're gonna be able to come home to one of these things, and it's gonna laugh at all your jokes. It's gonna sit down and watch the game with you like it doesn't get any better than this. Yes, it does. And it's gonna get up and make you a fucking, I don't know, bunt cake or a meat pie, whatever the fuck you people eat, right? There's not gonna be a human woman in here that's gonna be able to compete with that. For longer than 90 minutes, even on your birthday. By the third trip to the fridge, she's gonna be like, yeah, fucking get it yourself. What am I, your slave? Go fuck yourself. And after you've been with one of these robots, like sex dolls, you're not gonna be able to go back to a real woman, right? With all her hopes and dreams and her needs. You're gonna be coming home, she's like, what is going on with you? We're not connecting, we need a date night. All you'd be thinking is like, how do I shut this fucking thing off? What is it, on nagging mode? Why isn't it blowing me right now? I clearly entered the room. I entered the room, it's supposed to drop to its knees and blow me. I don't understand. Yeah, like your ego is gonna be at like a dictator level. Like, me and my man tits have arrived. Service me. Say that I am your lord. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You're not gonna be able to go back to a real woman. And then nobody's gonna be fucking women, so they're gonna get lonely, so they're gonna have to create a doll for you guys, right? A giant fucking, I don't know what you guys are into. I don't pretend to know, like some giant Brad Pitt looking fucking robot doll, fucking 8-pack abs, a robot dick down to the floor, you know? Holds both your hands when you tell a story, right? Whatever you're into. Opens a bottle of wine at 12 noon. It's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah. I think they're gonna fuck us into extinction. Because at that point, the only people left having sex with other human beings are gonna be hipsters and the homeless, right? Because hipsters, they love all the old shit, right? Cassette tapes, frisbees, dressing like a cobbler, whatever the fuck it is they're doing, right? But even a homeless guy, you know, after like, I don't know, a couple of years, he'll be able to drag some old, one-legged, fucked-out robot model out of the trash, drag it back to its lair, and that thing will still be building him up, you know, just laying there like, I don't think you smell that bad. This is my favorite bridge. Yeah. And we're all gonna fucking die off. And what's gonna be left to fight these robots off is gonna be an entire generation of hipster spawn. Yeah. And they're gonna go to war ironically. Yeah. Dressed like, I don't know, fucking growing Civil War beards, dressing like Star Wars action figures, and they're gonna get fucking slaughtered. And right when they get down to the last 30, there's gonna be some liberal robot going like, we should save a few for posterity, right? They're just gonna stick them in a zoo. It'd be this little hodgepodge of what was left. You know, black, white, Latin, Asian, gay, straight, trans, whatever the fuck, right? And they're still gonna be arguing with each other. The robots will just be standing outside going, I love it when they cross their legs. Yeah, and this is the fucking world that I brought my daughter into. Like, I actually am legitimately scared about them. But I don't know. I gotta tell you though, becoming a dad though is the greatest fucking thing that ever happened to me, man. It really is. I don't have any jokes about my kid. No, it is. And you're applauding my wife. She did all the work. Yeah. Yeah, knocking a woman up, that's easy. You just have fun. You unprotected sex, bam, you knock them up, and then they have to deal with it, you know? No matter how much they try to drag you into it, it really is, it's their show. You know? I always say my wife, when my wife was pregnant, I would say my wife, you know, she's pregnant. And then I always have these people like, excuse me, you're supposed to say we're pregnant? You're supposed to say we're pregnant? It's like, well, I'm not a seahorse, so I'm not fucking pregnant. My wife is pregnant. Look at her, she's putting on weight, her feet are swelling up. You know, she's miserable, fucking miserable. I'm still doing pull-ups, I'm crushing it. While being pregnant, I'm still drinking. Had to find her a new home. Well, I finally had to admit that she was fucking crazy. I got a crazy rescue dog, and yeah, it was one of these fucking dogs, man. It tried to kill both my parents. It tried to kill my father-in-law. It bit one of my friends. I'd have family come over, friends or whatever. We have to stick it in the back room, like lock the door. And like the first hour, it'd just be throwing itself up against the door. Ah, I'll fucking kill all you motherfuckers! I'll kill all you motherfuckers! Looking under the door, I can see your feet. I know what you smell like. I'll follow you home. I'll find you. I'll fucking kill all of you. And we were just in like total denial, like, no, she's just a little, you know, a little scared because she was abused. And we got like a trainer and all of that shit. And he finally just said, listen, man, this is one of these dogs nature said no to, but people said yes to. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, you could have told me that $10,000 fucking dollars ago, you know? So now my wife, she's 5 months pregnant. She's 6 months, 7, 8 months pregnant. It's just the fucking, this thing just hanging over my head. And finally I just said to my wife, I'm like, we gotta do something about this, man. I'm not gonna be this guy in the news being like, well, you know, the dog loved me and my wife, so I figured it'd be all right to let it sleep near the bassinet. And well, you can imagine my surprise the next morning. Yeah, I wasn't gonna be that guy in the news whose dog ate his baby, right? I gotta get rid of this thing. So we call my trainer and he goes, all right, I'll take it, okay? So thank God they're not gonna put the dog down or anything like that. So I'm like, thank God. So he goes, I'll come back in a week. And it was very sad because we both love this dog, like with all our hearts, right? And what amazed me though was over that week, the way my wife handled grief versus me. It was so mature, she just like took it on. I just went into denial. I was just like, well, I'm not giving it away tomorrow, so I'm not gonna think about it. I just called the dog up in the bed, started petting her and lashing out at people for no fucking reason, right? My wife, on the other hand, she just went right into the bathroom that night. She was brushing her teeth. I could just hear her quietly crying like, hoo, 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 hoo. I swear to God, I was on the bed and I got mad at her. I didn't yell at her, I had it just internal, you know? And I was just thinking like, why is she having the proper emotion in this fucking moment? Why isn't she just blocking it out the fucking way I am, right? Just don't deal with it until you fucking give it away and then just start yelling at people the way I do. Right, and that's what we did. I just blocked it out, and every night she would cry a little bit more, the whole week. Till the night before, she's like, right? And what I didn't realize was she had cried herself into acceptance. And meanwhile, my emotions were still at the starting line. And then there's a knock at the door, and she goes, okay, he's here, go get the dog. And I'm like, hey, Cleo. And she popped her head up, and I saw her wagging her fucking tail, and all of a sudden, 8 years of conditional love all started bubbling up, and I was like, oh, fuck, not now! Not now! So I just pushed it down. I just walked at her like some weird game show host. Hey, how are you? I'm smiling for no reason, all right? Now we're going for a walk. I'm just gonna say what we're doing so I don't think about what I'm feeling. And I just walked out, handed the leash to the new owner, pet her on the head, didn't even look her in the eye because I knew I couldn't, and just turned around and walked away from something that I loved more than I had loved anything in my life up to that point. Don't tell my wife, right? So then I come back into the house, all right, and she's just looking at me. She knows I'm out of my fucking mind. She's like, are you okay? Is everything all right? Do you want to talk about it? We can go out, get something to eat or something like that. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Sometimes you have to be up here and think logical and not be in your heart. I'm just going to go into the bathroom for a second. And I went in and I closed the door and for 0.8 seconds cried like a little boy before I put the lid back on the jar, fastened it back, and just added it to the shelf of anger that sits in every man's chest. Yeah. And I couldn't help but wonder in that moment, who that I love in my life is gonna pay for that in the future? Like, where am I gonna be? Family reunion, Bed Bath & Beyond. How many fucking towels do we need? Jesus Christ, it's a fucking sickness with you. Where is this coming from? I just don't understand where this is coming from. Listen, you guys were so awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. I had a great time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you guys so much. It's been the best 2 days of my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night.
You got to figure out a way to like thin out the herd, and it's too late. No, these are the hard decisions that are going to have to be made.
We're here to hear about some hard choices.
Yeah. So you know how I would do it?
What?
I would randomly sink cruise ships. I love all the USC female fighters. That's why I want my daughter to know how to know all of that stuff.
That'd be cool, huh?
When she meets a creep like you, she could choke you out. You know, like when feminists go like, oh, and they have like their missiles, these shaped things and blah, blah, blah. And I'm always thinking like, well, there is physics and aerodynamics and all that involved. Like if you have it shaped like a twat, I don't think it's going to make it to another country unless you frisbee it, right? And even then that gap's going to fucking be a lot of drag.
While people are talking about eating fake pussy,
That was before.
I don't want to be responsible for that shit. I didn't. But if the kid was in the fucking building.
Before. Will you shut up? Jesus fucking Christ. Geez, you'd think I was like trashing the president or something. You guys are really like pulling back
It's
here.
worse than that for people. Everyone's got an iPhone, you know?
Hey, look. No, I can't say that. I was going to say he's gone. They still came out with another one, right? That's true, right? Oh.
Did you guys see the picture of Donald watching his wife vote?
A lot of trust in that relationship. No, a part of me dies every time I go into a store and I see something. They go, can we get a phone number? Watching somebody give them the phone number. Why would you do that?
Yeah. I
I always give the same. Mine is all area codes. They go, what's your phone number? I'm like, 323-818-212-5. It was really, you relate to adults differently, people that you knew forever. And I always hated when somebody who didn't have a kid goes, you don't get it, man. You don't get it till you have it. And I was like, fuck you, I get it. It's like having a dog, but it's more intense. I was so upset that security escorted him out. I wanted to talk. I started my show blaming women for sexual harassment. That's how I started it. Yes, it was absurd. I wasn't being serious, you children.
Your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and
two
I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
Daniel.
You just ignore them. It's like 3 days. They flip out for 3 days. They try to bully you into an apology.
Well, you can't ignore them when they're right in the audience and you're playing to them.
You tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, believe me.
It's a comedy
you know what?
show. Trump's winning New Hampshire. Hillary's winning Virginia.
Really?
And there's a little kid here.
Yeah, somebody decided it was a good idea.
Somebody please take a photo of this Last Supper.
First off, thanks for calling in a couple weeks back, and so blessed to have you sitting here in our 105.9 studio.
Yeah, no problem. I'm actually glad I don't watch the news. I had no idea the economy was tanking
Sorry to
until we
inform
came in. Yeah, it's great.
Is that a Rolex?
Yes, it is. I finally bought one. 25 years in this business.
Is it white gold or stainless?
I don't know what it is.
Is it heavy?
No.
Then it's stainless.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, thank you. Thank you for taking my watch down a notch. I finally felt successful. You see this? You wouldn't say that if I had brown or black hair. I guarantee you. Blonde hair, you'd be over here giving me your watch. I think bankers should be forced to dress like bankers back in the day with like the top hat and the tuxedo. So at least you know what they look like so they can't hide in public as they go to the mall. Just dress like the Penguin on Batman. And just waddle around. At least let me throw a hot dog at you. Something, you piece of garbage. You're not going to go to jail. They're the worst. Remember that? We had this college agent, great guy, but he used to book us in the middle of fucking nowhere. He'd always call me up, Billy, Scott Bass calling. I have a gig for you in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Now, they don't have a lot of money, but I can build around it.
And then
there won't be a stage. It's at 12 noon in a hallway. Can you do it? Yeah.
We've never taken a break in the middle of a gas station.
I know. I had all this momentum going. Now I got to start all over again. Go ahead. Go to the card. See this? We won game one. Here comes the second of the doubleheader. I love the racist white guy thing. A bunch of racist white guys. They came out of the forest, and they were just going, Trump, Trump, Trump. It's like, where were all these racist white guys the last two elections when they could have voted against a black guy? They were fine. Oh, I don't mind the black guy, but this white lady, we got to stop her. It's going to take her four-wheelers, Macuzzi.
You're whatever incognito. You're an enigma.
What, because I make a pie? No, you know what it is? You're not a good listener. You've known me for 10 years. You have no idea who I am. It's all about comedy with you and moving up the ladder and pushing people down. This is like that Hillary commercial where they have the little kids watching politics. I'm like, that's bullshit. Little kids don't watch politics. There you go. So, like, dude, like this week when I went to upload my podcast to Dropbox and it wasn't working. And, dude, if you want to see something funny, watch me flip out when my kid is sleeping. Because I can't yell and just listen to, dude, I literally grabbed my computer and I was just like, fucking God. Like walking around my fucking kitchen.
Are you getting out of an existing house and
No, I'm going from a one-bedroom apartment, and I figured I'd finally go out and buy a damn house and not have to deal with, some jerk living above me or below me.
All right.
Yeah. Do my own little thing. Get my little 12 gauge, get a bunch of cans of tuna. Get ready for the apocalypse. That's what I want to do.
You tell it the way it is. I love the podcast.
I really don't. I don't read. I go with my gut. That's my fancy way of saying I don't read.
Well, that's good.
I hang out in bars. I overhear stuff that plumbers say, and then I repeat it on the radio. That's all I'm doing.
I love the podcast.
I just realized I was swinging my legs underneath this as your buddy is videotaping it.
I do.
He really gets into this. Whee! I'm telling jokes. Dude, if you took 90% of my text messages and phone messages and you put them on the news, you would run out of podiums to put in front of me that I would have to apologize. The crap me and DeRosa say to each other, forget it. So you can't talk shit in the room with that guy. Yo, one time this guy stepped to me in the bar, dude, fuck you. One time the president was giving me shit, and I said, oh yeah, I'll have you a fucking job in 2 years, and I did it. And I'm in the middle of watching the World Series, and out of nowhere, they have this moment, stand up to cancer. I'm watching a ball game, and all of a sudden, everybody stands up. No, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy. You know what I heard about you guys? Actually, by the way, I've been over here for a week, and as an American, I got to say something. You guys are pretty fat, too. Specifically the men. I don't know what's going on with the men, but I don't give a fuck how fat you get. You're gonna pour yourself into your skinny jeans. They still got them. It's like you're squeezing all the fat to the top like toothpaste. Right, still wearing me same jeans from primary school.
Makes you feel old about watching TV?
There's music. There's no guitar solos anymore. And then for some reason, with all this technology, millennials, if you take a full water bottle and you flip it in the air and it lands upright, they run out of the room like they just saw a witch. No, it's unreal. I'm really fucking annoyed how white women have the fucking balls to throw my white privilege in my face, you know?
sort of separate themselves from these white males with their white male privilege. It's like, bitch, you're sitting in the jacuzzi with me. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, quit your fucking whining. All right, if you live in some honey boo boo lifestyle on the Appalachian Trail, you know, your uncle just banged you in the dirt. All right, I can listen to you. No, one of my fantasies is I want to drive by like a woman's rally and just say the most sexist shit I can think of, just to watch them lose their minds. You know, just drive by real slow and be like, yeah, why don't you get back in the kitchen where you belong? Just to look in the rearview mirror, watching them flipping out in the road, spinning around like Leatherface at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like... Look, I'm sure that there's some feminists in the crowd right now not appreciating this joke, feeling triggered, feeling like they need to fucking put out a hashtag or some shit, and be brave, and speak out. You know what? You're full of shit. You are. All those feminists are full of shit, because I'm gonna tell you right now, someday, there's gonna be the first woman president, all right? Which means you don't even know what her fucking platform is, and you automatically cheer. It's got the same genitalia. I'm telling you, they're not smart people. Feminists, they're not as smart as they're coming off. I'm telling you. Someday, there's gonna be. By the way, this is gonna be my last show ever. By the time this fucking thing comes out. Someday, there's gonna be the first female president, which means there's gonna be the first male first lady, right? And you wait, you fucking wait. The first time that dude opens these feminists, they're all gonna be, you shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up! It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. He's gonna get treated like Tom Arnold when he was with Roseanne. Secret Service name will be like Appendix or Doesn't Matter. Not worthy of protecting. Just entered the Oval Office. Not worthy of protecting. My girl's actually, she's really like religious. She goes to church every week and I never go and it freaks her out. She's like, why don't you go to church? You don't believe in God and heaven and hell and all that stuff? Why don't you go? And it's not because I don't believe in a higher power. I definitely do. My thing is when I go to church, I can't get past the fact that I'm just listening to some fucking guy. You ever think of that shit when you go in there? That's just some dude. And people are like, no, that's a special guy. No, it isn't. It isn't. Nah, he didn't like levitate down from the ceiling like, oh, this white light around him. Why would you listen to another human being tell you where you're gonna go when you die? It's just like, dude, have you ever been dead? No. Great. So wouldn't it be safe to assume that you wouldn't have the slightest fucking idea what you're talking about? Yeah, you're making it up. You're making the shit up. You're not fooling me with the robes and the candles. Speaking in old English, he said it under you is. Shut the fuck up. You don't talk like that. You're just some guy. Your name's Jerry. You played soccer. You got your ass kicked in gym class. And now you're doing this. Every study they've ever done to determine who's smarter, men or women, every study comes back and says women are smarter. Every fucking one. Ladies, you shouldn't be applauding that. You know I'm an asshole. You know this isn't going to end well. Did he say I'm pretty? Oh my God! Get out of the relationship! If every study says that you're smarter, okay? The question you should be asking yourself was, we're so goddamn smart, how are we in the situation we're in?
Well? You're in the situation you're in, not because of guys like me, as much as you want to blame me. You know, ladies, you can't tell me, you never drove by a sports bar on a football Sunday and looked at the humanity in there? All those dumb guys with their big beer bellies bumping shit. Hey, he's on my fantasy team! I'm top, yeah! You want to get some more mozzarella sticks? As a woman with your bigger brain, you never looked in there and thought to yourself, I'm fucking losing to that? I'm losing to that. No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that. This girl one time, she was like really into like women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. So one time she came up to me, she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. Yeah, that's why I get the $1 more an hour. No, think about it. If there's a house fire, it's always women and children first. I got to stand there with like the back of my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go. So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for first? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? Bullets hurt me too. Why the fuck do I gotta stay in the vault? No, that's my point, man. Where are all the feminists in those situations? You know what I mean? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. That's a guarantee. You could take the most hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like, you chauvinistic son of a bitch. Little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I wanna go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. All I'm saying is if you're gonna make what I make when the boat sinks, you better be standing right there next to me, listen to that guy play the cello. Then you get the corner office. Screwed up my country is right now. Do you know Bryan Cranston, right? That dude did a movie. He played a quadriplegic, and people gave him shit. Be like, why is there an able-bodied person playing a quadriplegic? It's like, it's because it's called acting, you dumb fuck. See, if he was a quadriplegic playing a quadriplegic, that's not acting. That's just fucking laying there saying shit that someone else wrote. So tell us, what did you do to prepare for the role? Well, I dove headfirst into the shallow end of a pool when I was 23. I feel like I've been preparing for this role for my whole life. Right, what is up next for you? Well, they're gonna do a reboot of Top Gun. I'm gonna fly it with my tongue. And the co-pilot's gonna be transgendered, so everybody will be happy. She won't die. Her discarded dick will block her head from the canopy. There'll be a gender-neutral bathroom on the plane. How fucking dumb is that? That's literally like watching a movie. Why didn't you have a murderer play a murderer? And how come the guy he shot, I saw him in another movie? I mean, what the fuck is going on? Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know, a lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear, right? Just throwing out ideas. Well, there's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it! Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla, tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades.
Listen, you're one of those guys, you don't need compliments. You actually need to be pulled down a little bit to be tethered.
I give myself
to something. And I would say that it betrays an underlying insecurity, but there isn't with you. You're just full on fucking ego.
Full on. Does it make you more aggressive?
What?
Elk.
No, Joe, you lunatic. You had to beat the out of people for like 3 decades before you could like chill, smoke a little weed, put on your Little Rascals hat, and just fucking chill out.
You want me to be a soft, one of those Twitter tough guys? When guys come and sit on the couch, I go right after them. Don't you respect me for that?
No, I don't. Wait a minute. Do you own Fab TV?
Yes, how do you know that?
Because you're so friggin' dressed down. You just had that. You just had that vibe. This is how CEOs. Like, I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not.
And by the way,
like
I had to take my host out.
Your cameramen are dressed better than you are. I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not a reporter. Didn't even know the name of the show. Didn't even know the name of the show. Wow.
Well, you know what? Take it as a call. I wanted an interview. I'm like, no, I got to be in with Bill Burr. You're one of my idols.
So who was you supposed to interview me?
Okay, here.
Unbelievable. What is that? Oh, there you go. Now it looks like an interview.
Mr. Burr, how does it
feel?
If we went to a movie together, would we sit next to each other? Would you want a seat between us?
Oh, Jesus.
Because that's a tough
I'd
deal.
want to sit like 9 rows behind you and just tug on your ponytail.
You savage.
That's what I would do. Like, you probably thought that was an ugly sweater until you put it on.
Well,
and then you're just like, yeah, no, I'm totally rocking this right now.
Well, this is our funny thing where he bought this for me.
Our funny
and he put me in these bells.
Huh?
Because it's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a
It
bad...
is Christmas,
it's
isn't
like
it?
It's a bad radio
It is
show.
Christmas.
It is.
Thank you,
I
Brian
wanted you
Callen.
to know, man.
I wish my podcast was as informative.
Robert Kelly's and all that, they all call you Billy. Colin calls you Billy, but I fucking Bill.
I'm
you know
just
what I mean?
immediately noticing that I don't know about the chain if it's thick enough to be that level of confidence.
Yeah, well, but
that's more of a necklace.
When the chain's out,
he has on a fat chick ankle bracelet around his fucking neck.
A lot of people think that they're uncomfortable with my elevation. Are you uncomfortable with it?
No, I just see all of your insecurities.
Your giant
desk.
I've been on the same tour for this hour for almost over a year now.
Dude, bands tour for like 4 years and then fucking go right back in the studio, make another one, and keep going. You got to toughen up, man.
Yeah, you're right, huh?
You know?
What do I do, you think?
Camouflage hat, looking like a fucking backwoods guy, all tough and shit. You can't handle doing your hour again? I mean, come on, man. Suck it up.
Really? Is that you in action, or is this another photo shoot?
It's a photo shoot. People do photo shoots.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen like a movie poster and you'll see a movie star
I have.
who's clearly 5'2", yet somehow he's as tall as the supermodel?
I have.
Yeah, that's a photo shoot. And they fix stuff. Look, I'm sorry you're just on the web, man. You took it to, he took it to this place. I'm not trying to shit on his website. What is it called again? Huh? Zippitydoodah.com? I thought you were laughing. You were fucking yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are fucking killing me, man.
I knew it wasn't just weed. I was just like, there's no way I'm taking a hit off of that. There's something going on here.
Mushrooms, baby. The shrooms. I'm shrooming.
You know how fucked up this is? He's shrooming, and he's wearing pants like he went riding a horse today. Like side saddle or some shit.
You're whatever incognito. You're an enigma.
What, because I make a pie? No, you know what it is? You're not a good listener. You've known me for 10 years. You have no idea who I am. It's all about comedy with you and moving up the ladder and pushing people out.
While people are talking about eating fake...
That was before.
I don't want to be responsible for that shit. I didn't... But if the kid was in the fucking building...
Before. Will you shut up? Jesus fucking Christ.
So your theory on Boston is, let's just wait till LeBron's old. You don't want to be aggressive and get players.
I didn't say that.
What did you say?
You got misinformation.
What did you say?
Well, why would you say I have a horrible theory without checking with me first? It's like you already threw me under the bus. Well, I get it. You got a big desk.
I'm going to tell you how I discovered you.
I do owe my whole career to you. I was struggling until Bobby Lee discovered me.
Oh, no, not discover you in terms of like
you did it on your own, obviously, but no, in terms of my awareness of you.
Oh.
Can I tell you that story?
Oh, no, I remember it was a big day in my career. Bobby Lee is finally aware of me. Am I on Bobby Lee's radar?
See, this is what he's going to.
This is when things start to happen.
I'm not going to allow this to happen.
Reversal.
I'm not going to allow this to happen.
Reversal.
Yeah. I'm just going to plug away. You know what I mean?
Listen, you can talk to him all you want. I can hear it. Yeah.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah,
somehow
by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay. Whoa.
Off the air, I'll cut it.
All right.
Jeez. I love how surprised he is. Jeez.
Well,
There's
you can
actually-
mention the amount.
There's absolutely crazy people out there.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. Doesn't say. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla. Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that that man is no longer walking the earth?
The Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies, and from comedy, it's Bill Burr. Hey, Bill, how are you?
How are you? How's it going?
It's going.
Who am I looking at? This is weird. I can see myself there.
See that? You're looking at the right. You're looking. Just look at me.
I just got back from a remake of the new $6 Million Man episode. Look at this.
Is that what you look?
Breakdancer or something. It's terrible. Be honest with you, whatever I'm looking at, I forgot. I didn't forget. I thought it was at 1:30. It's actually at 11:30.
So that's why you didn't have time to look pretty?
Yeah, that's why. I got my hat on. I don't want people thinking that I'm disrespecting your show. Look at you guys. You're all dressed up. Got your jacket on. This is all official.
It's all right.
I should be the guy in the field that they interviewed. Well, we do have an eyewitness. It was a four-door sedan. That's how I'm dressed. Right.
No, I just wear the jacket to cover my hump. That's the only reason.
Oh, that's all right.
Otherwise,
Hey, I wear the hat to cover the bald spot.
Oh.
We're all doing our things.
You're not doing the Propecia?
No. Why would you do that? You think you're not, okay, the hair's not going to fall out, then what, it attacks my liver? What am I going to want when I'm 80? To be able to do this or to have this thing working?
That's exactly, I started taking it. It works, obviously, but I had
Jimmy asked the same question, just has a different answer. He gave up the liver.
I gave up the liver.
Yeah,
I'm like, they'll be able to figure it out in 20 years, right? I'll be able to. They'll put me up to a machine or something, or Mickey Mantle. I don't know. They'll figure it out.
You gotta shake.
Mickey Mantle's fine. Yeah.
You got to shake a lot of hands to get up that liver list.
Yeah. You got to get on top of the
You're gonna have
donor.
to tone down your act, man. If you're gonna need some friends, a couple of senators. Trooper.
I'm gonna stop making fun of Dr. Oz, and he's gonna get me in. But
I'm just waiting for the pill.
What do you mean? What pill? I got the pill. Propecia.
No, the one pill. You just throw it in. But the side, you got to pay somehow. I feel like you're gonna feel like your head's on fire for 90 seconds. So they just strap you down, and they just go, "Hey, ready? Wait. Okay, do it." You just, and then you come out. And then you have to go into therapy.
I'd much
to deal with that level of pain. You shake for like 3 days, but you just have a cough that will make.
I'd rather get it over with, right? I'd rather just have it be horrible instead of not be like everything happened to me, right? So I started losing my train of thought. That happened. My balls started hurting, and
From Propecia.
From Propecia. In fact, I Googled my balls hurt, which is how I found out.
That's what they say really quick at the end of the commercial, right? And then your balls hurt.
You might forget what we're talking about. Your balls might hurt. Bye. You may experience sudden ball pain.
Yeah.
I did. I thought I went to my doctor. I don't have cancer. All right, it's good. All right. But I did. I went and I ended up in a Propecia chat group, and that's where all these
pulling the hair from your crotch. That's what it is, right out through the top.
It takes
of
them
your
right
head.
off of my sack and puts them up here.
You went into a Propecia chat group?
Yes.
Really?
And because when I Googled my balls hurt, then I'm like, oh, I have that. So I had to stop taking it, but it's still kind of hanging on. So I'm happy.
That is a depressing chat group. That is not a bunch of guys sort of celebrating life there.
Yeah. You know what's scary though is as you type in Propecia and you type in my and just the B of balls and it just goes balls hurts. Okay, click. Yeah, see, so that's the thing. Look, I mean, what are you trying to do? You're going to try to be on People magazines?
You know what? I'm married and everything. Who cares, right?
Who cares?
Who cares? You're right. I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, and you don't want to be on that sexiest list, man. Those are the people that go, man, what happened to him?
I don't want to have one of those problems where you get too much pussy. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
No, I got to tell you though, it's fantastic. just so you know.
Being on the sexiest list?
How is the hair? I mean, come on, it's fucking glorious.
No, I know. I that's why I'm willing to have my balls. All right, so here, let's get to.
I've been battling with my girlfriend a lot lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend because I'm a jerk. So, Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? You know, any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You know, you can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped up charges. Yeah. Trumped up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know. know. Maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July as a redhead. You know, I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war, pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You ever burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches, giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah.
You got it. There should be a high top bar here, like potato skins. It's very Applebee's going out of business. Yeah, you have like that. I don't know if it's me, but you're so happy. Sometimes it bothers me. Like I get actually anxiety around people as happy as you. It's like I can't hit the ball back, dude. I can't sustain you coming to the net with your happiness. I'm just like, this is over. It's gonna smash it right at me. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Can these people see us as they walk by?
I think it's tinted, but yeah, they can kind of.
That'd be weird. Huh? It's like on the Good Day show, you know.
Crouch a little so they can't see us?
Yeah, those sad people who show up to the Good Day show at like 5 in the morning, just stand there.
Signs?
Yeah. Hoping Ethel sees them.
Like from Kansas all the time, yeah. Bill, thanks so much for being here. I love this show. You're one of my favorite comedians. I'm excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. These chairs are horrific. This is designed for like, I don't know what age. It's not like 6 to 8, like when you're 11. This is like the perfect size. It's not quite adult size. It's not kid size. I already slouch. It's going to be a bad interview, dude, and I'm blaming the chair.
I slouch or go down like this or
All right.
Cross the legs. Bill, are you the head writer on the show, or how do you work in the writers' room on the show? Because you write your stand-up specials, you know, obviously you're a writer, but you've never really written on a sitcom before. If you go through your credits, you hadn't really been on a show before.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Just right out of the gate, he goes negative. Never really saw you write on anything before, Bill. There was all these other nice things on your IMDb page I could have brought up, but I noticed this one glaring thing that you've never done. And right out of the gate, was it because I made fun of the chairs? I'm sorry. No, I'm not the head writer. Mike Price, the great Mike Price. I have to say there, he beats me in the writer's room. The great Mike Price from The Simpsons. He's the head guy, and I'm one of 10 in there, pitching jokes and that type of stuff. So, yeah, that's what I do in there.
Were you nervous
I'll be sure to have that on my IMDb page for the next time.
No, I love the show, and I was wondering if you were nervous getting in there with a group of writers, since you've been sort of the lone writer of all of your work for so long.
Oh, no, by no means did I want to do this by myself. I mean, you need all of that help. Like, I had an idea to do something like this on my website, just do little 5-minute vignettes, because I used to tell family stories when I first started out doing stand-up, and everybody laughed when I was the young comic. And then as I became the older comic, you know, and the helicopter kids came in, and everything was labeled, and people wore helmets when they rode bicycles, and everything was considered bullying, those same stories didn't get laughs anymore. Everybody was sort of groaning like, oh, you know. I'd be like, no, this was funny. I deserve to get beaten for that. So that's when I decided, well, if I animate these things, and I'm a comedian, so I never did it because I have other jobs that I can do to make money. So it wasn't until I got with Mike Price, he turned it into a show. Vince Vaughn's company, too.
And what was your initial, so was this the idea that you initially had going into it, that it would look like this?
No, I had no idea what it was going to look like. This was like, I actually decided to do a cartoon because you can get away with more. And also, I did like those one-camera shoots, and those people work like 12, 14-hour days. There's hair, makeup, and wardrobe. So I thought I was being smart doing an animated show, thinking, oh, this will be easy. You know, they just do a little Flintstone shit, you know? I'll come in and say a couple of goofy things into a mic, and I'll go back out, you know, go see a movie or something. And it's not quite how it works. So this alone, just trying to come up with the look of it, which you wouldn't think, it took us like, we spent like, I swear, it felt like 6 weeks on noses and eyes, because you have to have everybody look. It's a weird thing, like animation.
Well, it sets up the world.
Yeah, but you have to come up with like your race of like animated people, you know? So like the Simpsons have the mustard yellow people with the giant eyes. The Simpsons have like the Pac-Man heads. So you got to kind of come up with your own thing that hasn't been done before. So I hope we did. We try to have like we wanted the 70s look the way most of my friends remember it. I mean, the way Hollywood does the 70s is everybody looked like Ron Burgundy or the Bee Gees or something. And that was, you know, that was a group of people. And everybody drove a Pacer, which they didn't. I remember when that car came out, me and my wife was like, that was the, me and my mother, what the hell's wrong with me? So that was the ugliest piece of shit I've ever seen. Sorry, I went out to a diner till like 4 in the morning last night. I got into an argument over music. This kid was trying to tell me that the Foo Fighters were better than the Beatles, and I just couldn't handle that.
Wait, what? Let's stick to this for a second, if you don't mind. Who the hell was arguing with you that the Foo Fighters are better than the Beatles?
He said he didn't like the Beatles because they didn't. When I listened to their music, he goes, it doesn't make me want to get on an elliptical. Like, this is how this guy judges music. Like, if it makes him want to work out. So, like, with that analogy, it's just like, hey, I don't like Mozart because it doesn't make me want to grab ankle weights. You know, I don't even, and like an idiot, I actually argued with this person. Like, they're that far down the boulevard. Like, I was going to bring them somewhere to where I was. And my eggs were getting cold, and I stayed in it. It was such a waste of time. It's just one of those days you wake up at like noon hating yourself. Like, I'm decades beyond having these things happen to me, and
How did you argue with that? If it started there, how did you argue about it?
Upsetting other people. I vaguely remember saying to some guy there, like, because he was giving me shit for how loud I was being, I finally said to the guy, dude, who the fuck orders spaghetti at a diner? And I didn't hear another word out of him, so I was proud of that.
The one person who's excited for the huge menu orders spaghetti? You know?
Yeah, at some point I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food? When everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah, Wait a minute, do you own Fab TV?
Yes, how do you know that?
Because you're so friggin' dressed down. You just had that vibe. This is how CEOs, like, I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not
by the
dressed
way,
like
I had to take my host out.
The cameramen are dressed better than you are. I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not a reporter. Didn't even know the name of the show. Didn't even know the name of the show. Wow.
Well, you know what? Take it as a call. I wanted an interview. I'm like, no, I got to be in with Bill Burr. You're one of my idols.
So who was you supposed to interview me?
Okay, here.
Unbelievable. What is that all? There you go. Now it looks like an interview.
You know, Mr. Burr, you know, how does it feel?
Okay, I saw, these are the first 3 movies I saw. I saw For the Love of Benji, and then we saw Scarface. She didn't know what it was. She knew it was like a gangster movie, but she thought it was like, you know, like Kojak or something. And if she wanted to leave then, I would have, but she didn't. She just is very reserved. She's just kind of like, maybe this will get better. Like, she just... Hey, how are you? What's going on? Nice to be here. I thought this was over by 7. I'm a stand-up comedian. I tell shit jokes around the country. It's what I do. And I got to be honest, like, I don't know much about writers. You know, I used to think you guys were a bunch of nerds who couldn't hold up your end of the conversation, you know, with strange shoes. I did. Yeah, but it was going to be yet another pilot that was going to fail. I'd just be sitting in a coffee house trying to talk to these writer, and it just would never connect, you know? So I always end up just staring at their shoes, but like, I don't know. I've always been like an idiot. And, no, I did. I used to think like a pony was a little horse. And there was these people down the street had this pony for like 7 years. And one day I said to my mother, I was like, when's that pony going to become a horse? So, I don't know. I didn't understand what you guys did. Like being in a writer's room. I never really understood, like, what a fucking hell it is. In the last 2 years of my life, I've spent it in there. And, like, I've just never contemplated suicide more times in my life, you know? Every time you get that note, like, I don't think we earned this moment. This isn't in our palette. Like, well, who do I root for? I just always think, there's always that sweet option. We're on, like, the 8th floor. I just think it. I think I could hit my car, maybe land right in the driver's seat and be poetic. I do. Just sitting in a writer's room all day. I come home, I just stare at the wall. I can't hear my wife's voice. My drinking is off the rails. And I just want to say to all you guys, I really respect now what the hell it is you guys do, because it is, without a doubt, the toughest job out here. So thank you for writing shit for me to say. I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Oh, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, I actually think it's kind of pretty high. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up the phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, how she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this.
You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned and saying, I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is?
So I got a dog recently. That's a big thing in my life. I went down to the pound and I got a free dog. That's how I say it. I don't say I rescued a dog. All right, it's obnoxious and it's not true. Sick of people doing that. She's a rescue. Yeah, I rescued her. Really? Did you pull her out of a burning building? My girlfriend actually, to be honest with you, got the dog while I was traveling. I was in a different state. My girlfriend got us a dog. Classic female move, you know? That's just a 10 to 15-year commitment. Why would you include me in that decision?
Do this because I don't want to have a job. I just like being able to fuck. Like, you know what I love about this interview right now? There's zero preparation. I don't have to do shit. I was watching the fucking Jets-Miami game last night. I had a couple of beers, hanging out with my dog. I had a great fucking time. There was no like, oh, I got this big meeting tomorrow. I got to hit my PowerPoints, graph how comedy exists. There's none of that. I just show up. I might have been the worst comic in the history. Like, first of all, I would get on stage. I was so nervous. I'd take the mic out of the mic stand, and I would immediately just start pacing.
Like a panther.
And it had like a nervous panther who got declawed and defanged. Yeah. And I was just walking back and forth, and my movement had nothing to do with what I was talking about. I can't even believe I got any laughs. I would just be like, yeah, so I was growing up, and my dad was crazy, and it was just like, it was like that thing, you know, the old carnival game where you try to shoot the duck.
Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know, a lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? Like he's Tesla tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your own rollerblades.